Hello everyone and welcome back to another Bimmer Fixer video, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to fit a reversing camera in your E60 or E61 after you've retrofitted an appropriate screen in your car. Okay, so having a closer look at the camera itself and just a few words of advice. So obviously you need to have fitted the Linux screen like I have. If you want to check out that video, have a little look, or a similar head unit that's going to allow you to have a reversing camera. So we've got cable to run it from the back, the camera itself. Now they're all pretty generic, to be fair. They range from about £15 to £40, but a lot of the time it's actually the same camera from the same manufacturer. So I'll put the link in the description for this one if you like this one, but by all means have a look for yourself. So there we go, that's the camera and handle as well. So the camera is integrated into the handle. We've got a little wire there, can you see? Now what that does is that gives you the green lines on the screen. I think this is already going to have them, so what we'll do is I'll test it before I finally fit it. If they're annoying, all you need to do is just cut that wire and then they disappear. If you want to leave them, just leave that be. And then we've got the cable to run it up to the head unit, and then that's the power cable there, and then this one here is to allow power for the switch. That's pretty much everything. Oh, and then we've got a separate power cable there to that goes in the camera just there. So that's everything that comes in the box, nice and simple. There is some instructions there, but it's pretty much self-explanatory. If there's any kind of shortcut, so to speak, or anyway a more efficient way of doing it, then obviously I'll show you how to do that as long as it works. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to work from the front all the way to the back, because if there are any issues, it's just easier to deal with it going that way than it is going that way. If you fit everything in the car this way and then you find out the camera's faulty or something's not quite right, it's not too much of an issue. If you do it this end, you'll have to take everything back apart. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to route the cable probably behind the dash, pop it out from underneath the glove box, and then we're going to run it along the trim. So you will need some removal tools. Where I can, I'm going to try and get the wire just to poke under the trim, but in some cases I'm probably going to have to actually remove the trim. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to remove the two Torx screws up there, pop the screen out, and then we'll start from there. The first thing you need to do is remove two Torx screws. They're T10s, there's one just there and then another there. So once you've got those out, put those aside and then just tilt the screen forward. Obviously you've already done this before if you've got one of these screens, and then just bring it forward and just rest it carefully on there. So the ones that we are after are this one here. In this case it says back video in, because the other one is DVR, which I think is the 360 and the front camera. So we've got the back camera there, and then we need a camera power, which is this one here. In this case, sometimes they're yellow, sometimes they're red. This one's black and burgundy, I think, and it's got camera power written on it there. So what we need to do is we need to get our wire kit, and we're going to attach it to the back of the screen. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll connect it now, and then we'll thread it down the back behind into the glove box bit, and then we can feed it through there, but I'll show you that in a bit more detail anyway. So a bit self-explanatory. The yellow one goes into that one there, like so, and then the power will go to this one here. Now if you've done this before, you can obviously fast forward this bit, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a strong connection with a bit of solder. So we're just going to strip that wire off there, give us a bit more there. I'm going to take a little bit off the camera power there. I'm glad I've not hoovered the car out yet. Alright, okay, so then what I'm going to use is I'm going to use these, you might have seen them before, they're like little connectors that already have the solder built in. So there's a bit of solder in the center that melts and creates the connection. I'm also, while I'm at it, going to put a bit of shrink wrap on there. What size is that? Let's go that one. So what we'll do is we will, so I can get over that sticker, put that on first. Is it going to go over there? Probably not, is it? So we'll go with this one then. I've run out of red before you say it should be a red one. Okay, and then once that's on, then we can pop our connection in this way. You don't have to do it like this way, obviously. You can use tape, twist if you like. I just prefer to do it like this. Then once that's in, we can get a soldering iron, or, well, this is a soldering iron, but it also doubles up as a bit of a torch. And that should, there we go. I might need a bit more gas, there we go. Right. So now all you need to do, you can use a lighter for this as well if you want to. But you just need to heat it. And then what happens is that it'll shrink over. The two little white bits there will attach to each side of the wire, and then the solder, just give it heat, will then melt and create the connection. Okay. So give that a second to cool down. Carefully don't put that down on your carpet if you're using one of them. So that's nice and secure. It's like a good solid connection on there. Then you just slide, again you don't have to, but I'm going to, your shrink wrap over that. I think just to really keep things tidy. And then just give that a bit of a, there we go. If you haven't got one of these, you can always use a lighter, but these are really handy, especially if you've got no power outside. There we go. So, get a second to cool down. There you go. So it's a nice solid connection there. And then we've got that plugged in there. So now what we can do is go to this end. Oh God, I was worried there wasn't going to be enough. There's plenty of wire. I think it comes with 5 meters. This one came with 5 meters of wire, so it should be plenty. So yeah, going to go down to the left, drop it down into the glove box. I probably might have to, let me think. I think I'm going to have to drop the glove box, but I'm going to get the wire threaded down, and then I'll pick this back up once I've got that all sorted, and then I'll show you what way I've kind of routed it through. Okay, so that wasn't as painful as I was expecting. So that's the wire just there. What I did is, there's actually, if you go down there, there's quite a large gap. Just poke the wire there, and naturally it just dropped down with gravity. And what it did was it brought it out. So obviously this is after. What you need to do is you need to remove some screws. So there's, let me see if I can zoom out a bit. There we go. So you can see where the screws are. There's one there, one there, one there, one in that corner. There's one tucked up just under here. So what you need to do is there's a little pin in here that sits, there you can see now, sits in there. Just pull that pin out, and it gives you a bit of room to get that screw out. And then there's another one just there as well, and that just gives you enough room to drop the box down. Now you can see there's the wire comes from up the top there, drops down through that gap. You can just see it there. And now you can go either, you can run it across the top of the glove box, so we could technically just bring it and run it along here, and drop it down, run it along there, drop it down in there, and then down into this part where the dash cam is. In fact, I'm tempted to do that. If you didn't want to do it that way, if you just remove, there's 3 more screws underneath. If you remove these, and then you can get the wire, run it along under here, along with the dash cam, which is that one there, and then you can go into this bit of trim with the dash cam and then run it underneath. So I'll try and make my mind up which way to go. Spoiler alert, I did just try the camera without wiring it up to the reversing light, and it actually worked. So even though the instructions say to wire it up to the reversing light, you don't technically need to, but I'll talk to you more when we're at the back of the car. So what I'll do, I'll just pull that wire all the way through, make my mind up to go over the top or underneath, and then reinstall the head unit, because that bit will be done, and then we'll get on to removing the trim along the car and get into the back. Okay, so that's everything back together now. I went across the top of the glove box as I found it was easier just from where it came down from the head unit. It just seemed to make sense to go across the top. So I literally just left it across the top, put everything back together, all screwed back up. The wire then popped out here. I've just run it underneath this bit of weather strip here and underneath, and then pop this bit of trim off here. This does take quite a bit of a tug to get off, and what you will find is that sometimes the clips will stay with the car, but they just slide back in like that. So when you go to put it back on, just slide them back on there and you're fine. So what I'll do, I'll then just run the wire simply underneath there like so. I'm going to try and then stick it underneath the bits under B pillar, and then when we get to the back we'll do the same again, and then I'll show you how to thread it underneath the seat and then pop it up into the boot, and then we'll work it around to the boot lid. Okay, so just to give you a better look at the route of the wire, so it's gone underneath the weather strip there, and then it's tucked quite nicely underneath the cover there for the B pillar, and then that carries on to the back, and then that pops out from underneath there, and then we just pull up on this bit of trim here. Well, first of all, actually what you can do is you just remove the back seat. There's nothing holding it in really, it just lift up. It's just supported on there with friction, so just lift that up, take the seat out, and then just pull up on this trim like you did before. Same thing with these, just slide them back in and then bring the wire up through here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to attach it to a bit of wire or something like a coat hanger, and then I'm going to post it up underneath there, and then that will bring it out to the back of the boot there, and then we can run it either behind this trim here, which I probably will, behind this cover, pop it up here, and then we're going to go up through here, under here to the handle on top. So I found going from inside the car to the boot was tricky because of the angle behind the seat. So what I did was bend my wire or coat hanger and post it, take the boot floor mat out, and then post the wire down like that. It's easier for it to go that way than it is to come up. So then just post it through like that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my wire, pop it through there like that. You could pop a bit of tape around it, but I'm going to be seeming a bit cheeky and pull it straight through the boot, and then there we go. So then I don't know which side the plug, I'm guessing it's that one. There we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this bit of trim here, but it should just be that clip there, and then there's a clip there, and there should be one there. Take that out, and then that's going to give us access to the bottom of this run here. I think you can go up through there. If not, we'll go up through the other side. Okay, so this cover doesn't actually come all the way out. So what I did was I just tucked it in as much as I could in that corner. Used the wide end trim tool just to tuck it all the way in, and then it just pops over the top and then runs down the back there quite comfortably, quite happily. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go through the bottom of this tube here. I'm going to use that bit of wire to help us get it through. But what I'm going to do now is remove all the clips here. So I think there's about 14, so you can see them. They're just dotted all the way around. So remove all those. Then you'll want to remove the toolkit. So first thing you can do is just twist that 90 degrees, that'll come out. And there's also 2 fairy screws. I don't know if you can see them. So 2 Phillips fairy screws, and then the toolkit will lift out, and then that will expose everything underneath. And then what we'll do, that will give us the access to the handle. Okay, so just in case you've never come across these sorts of clips before, this is what's holding the cover on. It's the 2 clips that are actually holding on that cover in the boot as well. And what you do is, how they work is you have 2 parts, and then the center bit goes down through the center, and then that opens up the part of the clip there which keeps it in place. So to remove them, what you need to do is something like this, like a trim removal tool, and you pop it in hook it under and lift it out like that, and then as it comes out, you see there, so as that's brought the centre core bit out, it loosens off the centre and then it comes out. So just in case you've never come across those before, I thought I'd just quickly show you. So yeah, I'll get these all taken out and then we'll get that cover off. Okay, so that's the cover removed from the tailgate. It will just fall away once everything's off, so if it is stuck up there, there's a good chance that you missed the clip, so just be careful that you haven't missed one. Right, so feeding the wire up through this part here, through the tube. The bit of wire that I had was too thick to get around this bend, so what I did was I used some solder, doubled it up, sent it down the top, went down nice and easy, popped out the bottom, and then made a hoop, then threaded the wire through that. So now what I can do is if I pull up on here, wire comes out the top. Nice. So now what we're going to do is make sure, I panicked then, I thought it was too short, it's caught. So make sure it's not caught on anything. And then pull it up through, it's caught again. There we go. So what I'm going to do is run it along underneath. I've got some cable ties, I've actually got some clips that will help secure that in there. And then what I'll do is then I'll feed it along to up here, and then we'll pop the handle out, and then I'll show you the final bit of putting the handle in. Apologies, I did film taking out the old handle and putting in the new one, and then realised the footage wasn't that great, but went to refilm it, and this handle is a very tight fit, and I don't want to damage anything trying to remove it. So there's a gap underneath. You can see where that wire's going. All you need to do is put your hand up on top of the handle, push down. That flex that you can see on the top there, that's enough for it to pop out the bottom, and it's just a reversal. Just make sure that you connect the wire here. There's a connection in there, that's for your switch, it's for your button, and then obviously you just got to post your wires through the tailgate. So that's all it is to fit that, so you've not missed anything really. Then what you need to do is connecting the wires up, so it's pretty self-explanatory. Yellow to yellow, like that. This is your power cable, pop that on there. Now in other scenarios you would connect that to your tail reverse light, and I don't know if that gives it the power and the signal, but my head unit gives the signal and it gets the power from there as well, so it doesn't actually need to go onto the reversing lamp, which is quite nice. So what I'll do is I will solder, do what I did before, I won't have to show you again, do what I did on the head unit, and then I'll find myself a ground. I'll probably use one of the bolts here, so you can put like a ring connector on there and then just tap it in there, or you can just wind it around and make sure it's nice and secure. And again, if you wanted those green lines, you can just give that white wire a snip, or vice versa, just leave it. So I will do the final connections here. I'll get an earth from the torque screw there on that catch, and I will connect those that power just like I did with the head unit, and then it's just a case of putting everything back together. So I'll crack on with that, I'll get everything back together, and then you'll hopefully join me with the demonstration. Okay, you have to excuse my sweaty face, but moment of truth. So pop in reverse. Yes, we've got success. Right, there we go. Excuse my fingerprints, but and the reflection, the resolution is not too bad at all really for the cost. This was about 20 quid, I think, this camera. There we go. Perfect. Spin you back round, and there we go. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe, and if you have any questions at all, please just ask away in the comments. I'll get back to everyone as quick as I can. Thank you very much, and a massive thank you to all my subscribers. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye bye.